Hey everybody, it's Trey with TreyMixes.com, and we're back with our last, for the moment, side chaining trick. It's going to be a real short video, but this is something that I do a lot, particularly in rock mixes, where we have really harsh cymbals that will get in the way of other things and be really distracting. So I'm going to let you listen to these cymbals, and it's just going to be really obvious where they're dipping out. Okay, so we decided to augment this track with some crash samples to go along with what's going on in the music, just to clean it up because the overheads weren't super sounding, super well recorded, super great sounding. The rest of the kit sounds great. So we added some crash samples, but they're really harsh. And so the very first thing I did was pull out our comp and sidechained it to the vocals because it was really harsh. These cymbals, they were really cutting into the vocals. So let me turn on and off this chorus part. And so when I play this, you're going to hear that the cymbals and the S's and the words are really fighting against each other. But I found that the cymbals were at a good volume, so I didn't want to pull them out to lose some of the power. So that's why we sidechain them to the vocals to get them out of the way when the singer's singing. So we're going to check this out. I'm going to turn it on the second cymbal, and you can compare one crash to the next crash where it's competing.
Running maybe this time, there might be something to hold. 'Cause I'm sick of songs that make me crazy, baby. I'm tired of hanging.
So the sidechain compressor comes in and knocks those cymbals down real hard, only when he's singing, to get them out of the way of the words. The next sidechain compressor, because you'll see there's two here, I do this a lot because to me the snare is just one of the most fundamental parts of any of these mixes. I do a lot of rock and pop music, and it's just super important, and it's one of my favorite parts of every mix. I just love snare drums. So I also sidechain these cymbals to the snare to kind of duck out of the way so you get a lot of impact from the snare and you're not competing at volume. While this isn't really necessary, I just do it a lot to ensure that a lot of the instruments, and I do this on guitars sometimes on background vocals, sometimes I'll bus a bunch of instruments together, put a sidechain compressor on it and tie it to the snare, and it'll duck all the music down just a little, not a ton, but just to really keep that punchy snare coming through. So I'm going to turn this back on, turn the snare on, and you can hear where it's ducking out with and without the snare.
Running maybe this time, there might be something to hold. 'Cause I'm sick of songs that make me crazy, baby. I'm tired of hanging on to maybe thinking, running maybe this time, there might be something to hold.
So that's pretty much it. You just dial in your compression settings to where you're getting things out of the way of what you want it to be getting out of the way of, and lower down our threshold and do some real light compression just to give some space for, in this case, the snare and the vocals to come through a really harsh competing element. And that's it. If you found this interesting, please subscribe, like the video if you like it, and click the little notification bell to make sure that every week when I put one of these out, you're getting notified that there's a new tip, trick, or concept to learn something about to help improve your mixes. Thanks again. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and thanks for watching.